There we go. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the latest webinar being hosted by the Greater Essex Careers Hub. Our benchmark focus for this evening is benchmark 4, linking curriculum learning to careers. And we've got some fantastic guest speakers for you today. As I've already mentioned, this session will be recorded. So if you're not happy about having your face recorded or whatnot, please feel free to turn your cameras off. And if anyone has any questions, please feel free to put those into the chat, and we shall do that as we go along. So Peter's very kindly offered to go first. So the way that this is quite an informal sort of webinar this evening, there'll be about a sort of a 10-minute presentation piece, followed by a short Q&A session afterwards, plus a sort of a larger Q&A session at the end for any of the careers leaders who've got any further questions. So without any further ado, Peter, I shall hand over to you.
Okay, thanks, Adam. So yeah, my name's Peter Sutton. I recognise quite a few of the names that are on the list. I'm part of STEM Point, which is the delivery partner for STEM learning, and we recruit STEM ambassadors to link with schools in lots of different ways. So I know that some of you have made use of STEM ambassadors in the past, and with Katie talking about a careers fair, hopefully some of those were STEM ambassadors who attended. So the STEM ambassadors are a free resource, and that can support you with a number of different things, from careers events, online mentoring, to hands-on activities, assembly talks, a whole wide range, coming in judging competitions or helping out in STEM clubs. STEM ambassadors range from 17 to, I was chatting to one who is actually 70 today. We have had some in their 80s, and lots of people want younger ones to come in and talk to their students. But for STEM clubs and after school clubs, the older ones have more time. So they are a fantastic resource as well to make use of. We are getting more and more apprentices signing up as well to be involved in the scheme. It's good for their personal development as well. They actually, more often than not, really keen to go back to their old school and contribute to in any way they can. And yeah, it's lots of different ways they get involved. Others only want to work with certain age group children. Others don't mind at all. We actually found during COVID, we then benefited from it with online talks. I know it's not popular at the moment, but there's still this blended approach with STEM ambassadors. Because often where we've struggled in Essex is always to get somebody representing vets. So with it being online, we were able to get other people involved as well. And it is easier for ambassadors with the pressure of them. If they're still in work, they don't have to give up their half a day to try and attend a school event. They are very happy to do something early in the morning, lunchtime, or during the day, because they can make that time up as well. So there is some benefits in doing online still as well. They do like STEM clubs as well. They aren't teachers. They just want to share their knowledge and engage with the students and encourage them to perhaps go in their field of work. So it's quite nice for them to come into schools. If you're running a day project with crash timetable, to get STEM ambassadors involved, they just often walk around if there's a project, talking to the students in a much more relaxed way. They can then share information about what they do. The students are more relaxed with them chatting. They can ask, what do you do in your day job? How did you get into it? Did you do it for an apprenticeship? Did you go to university? Or was it on the job training as well? So there's lots of different varied ways that they have got involved. Now, it is with STEM learning program, it has become much more of a self-service system where, as part of the school, you can register a request for STEM ambassadors on the digital platform and ask them to share, and you can put up what you're after. The more descriptive you are, the better. If you go, say it's a careers fair, if it is a careers fair, tell them the times you'd like the ambassadors to be there, tell them the age group that they will be talking to, tell them tea and coffee will be supplied. It seems to make their days if they get offered a cup of tea, the ambassadors. And also, one of the silly things is they worry about parking. So if you tell them there's parking available, they're much more relaxed. And once you get an ambassador in the school, it's really good to build that network with them. Talk to them about what school gets involved in, and you might find that they will offer more as well to you because they're keen, or they might say, well, actually, I've got a colleague who's interested in that area of work. And then the program grows and we get the network of more ambassadors available. As I said, it is voluntary, so we don't always manage to fulfill all the requirements, but we do try very hard to get at least one ambassador to attend an event that you're organising. There's also the STEM Learning website has got lots of information on the careers webpage. So I'll put it into chat later, but it's at www.stem.org.uk/secondary/careers, and there's lots of other information you can get from this page as well. Now, as on the digital platform, I said, you put up your request. If an ambassador is interested, they will register their interest and you will get notification via the email that they're keen to take part. And that's where you need to check the system as well to email them back and to arrange either an email conversation or give them a call or a Teams call so you can chat to them and you get a feel for what they can offer you as well. Then if they are the right ambassador for you, you can then accept them and then it's booked in for everybody linking in together. We have got a pack of slides which will talk you through that process in a bit more detail so you can follow it step by step, which I'll share with Adam so that he can pass that on to you in the future. It'd be a good point to open it up to any questions now to see if anybody's got any questions. I'd like to know a bit more about STEM ambassadors.
I'll take that silence as a resounding no.
No,
sounds like you've covered everything there, Peter.
Yeah, no, hopefully I didn't garble through it too quickly.
No, that was good. And I do thoroughly recommend having a look on the website. Some of the resources on there are absolutely fantastic.
It's a very good website. You do need to go digging sometimes, but if you're stuck, please, you've got my contact details and I can help find bits down there for you as well.
Smashing. No, fantastic. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
And thank you for taking your time to come and speak to us today. Who's next on the list? I think it was well, Katie, your camera's up at the moment, so we'll go to you next if that's okay. So
yeah,
I shall
I'm happy
hand
to go
over
next.
to you.
And actually my presentation kind of overlaps a bit with Peter's because we both work for the STEM family, so it'd be interesting to kind of exemplify some of the things that Peter said with my presentation. Is it okay if I share my screen? I hope I've got permission.
You should be able to.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. Oh, hold on. Okay, can you see that screen now?
Yeah, that's come up.
Brilliant. So, hi, my name's Katie Vandepere Brown. I'm an assistant head teacher at Sutton County High School, and I come to talk to you today in the kind of the part of my role where I work running one of the curriculum hubs for computer science. We're the London Herts and Essex Computing Hub, which covers most of Essex. And the reason I'm coming to talk to you today is to talk to you about the Gatsby benchmarks and how we can support you as a curriculum hub in achieving particularly Gatsby benchmark 4. My background is that as part of SLT at Sutton County High, I also am in charge of the curriculum and therefore line manager, CEIAG lead. So I come at this with kind of 2 hats on. So hopefully I can help to explain how we can, as a curriculum hub, support you in delivering everything you need to deliver to make sure that children get the full entitlement to their Gatsby benchmarks. So I said I was going to talk to you specifically about benchmark 4. Now it's worth having a reflection quickly on what benchmark 4 specifically says. And as a reminder, you can see on the screen here the the quote from the DFE guidance, there's a specific example around STEM-based careers, and also obviously the importance of maths and English. But you can see there that by the age of 14, every pupil should have had the opportunity to learn how the different STEM subjects help people gain entry to and be more effective workers within their wide range of careers. But equally, throughout the programme of study, students should have heard from their subject teachers about the ways in which their subject links with specific careers. Now, as someone who leads careers in school, I know that that can be really difficult to achieve, because you've got a group of subject leaders who have got their own kind of priorities based on achievement and progress, and then we're asking them on top to try and achieve this, and sometimes that can be really difficult to do. So we've been trying to think creatively in my school about how that happens, and I'll share some of those ideas with you now. But essentially, the whole point is that actually we do need to be doing this piece of work. We need to be supporting children to have high aspirations. Now, one of the things that I think is really important is the fact that STEM careers support children to make social mobility. And it depends on where you are in Essex, but I know there are lots of areas of Essex that have a particularly high proportion of PPG students. So the ability to offer children an insight into a world of work where it doesn't matter where you come from or who your parents are, or your, you know, which doors will get open to you. The social mobility that becomes apparent from studying these STEM careers is something I think is really important for us to be able to impart to students and to children. And you can see here these statistics. The highest social mobility rates come from computing, which is what I represent, but pharmacology, medicine, medical sciences, and engineering. The best rates, as you can see here, are law, computing, and pharmacology, mobility rates of 2.2, 2.9, and 4.2. And you can see here that around 10% of the students in those subjects were FSM eligible, what we would call PPG, and and they therefore go on to perform really well in terms of labour market success. So it's really important, I think, that we are making sure that Gatsby Benchmark 4 is highlighting those sorts of careers to children, and that actually they can be seen. They can see themselves in that career, so that they are being given examples of how someone like them might progress into that career. Because as you know, STEM careers are really a kind of developing field. Most jobs now rely on some form of technological ability. And the thing that I think sometimes students find really difficult is seeing how STEM careers fit into a range of the disciplines. So here, for example, we've got the banking industry. Banking industry employs computer scientists to be software engineers. Same is true of most other sectors. So it's really good to show children that if you work within computer science field, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be a computer scientist working in a university. Pretty much all fields rely on people with STEM backgrounds to develop technology. So there's lots of resources that we have available to you to help support that. I'm going to try and share some of those with you now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, hopefully if I can get this right, is I'm going to take you to our STEM Careers Toolkit. So this is the Teach Computing website. Under here, under Career Support, you'll see that there's a whole page that you can direct your STEM teachers to that talks specifically about how to get into STEM careers. You can see here that there are some computer science journeys which meet benchmarks 4, 5, and 7 that you can share with students and with teachers. There are some fantastic option guides which meets 3, 4, and 8. There's the curriculum which has highlights within it a range of careers. This curriculum is completely free to your schools. You've got here your computing ambassadors to bring some real life role models into the classroom. And then I'm going to highlight another couple of these things as well. The I Belong, encouraging girls into computer science, and the computing quality framework. So there's these two different things that we can particularly bring to your school, and all of these things are fully funded. So also within the STEM family, there is the STEM Careers Toolkit, and this is a QR code to that on the website. So it enables you to work through the different Gatsby benchmarks and do a kind of evaluation for your own careers program within school. And then obviously Peter's just talked about our wider network. We also promote the STEM Ambassador Programme. We work together as network partners with Peter and with STEM East to really kind of help schools to think how they might use STEM ambassadors in a really kind of engaging way, so that the children can see what a person that works in STEM looks like. And obviously Peter's just talked a lot about STEM ambassadors, so I won't touch on this for too long, but you can see the statistic there. More than 90% of teachers said engaging with STEM ambassadors has improved their students' awareness and ambitions in STEM. And that link will take you to the STEM Ambassador website. And statistically, you can see here that the impact of having a STEM ambassador is a really positive one. We're working with young people, excuse me. So 94% of students' enthusiasm at STEM for improved, and I'll let you read the rest of the statistics on there. But it shows that actually, a study shows, another piece of research I haven't referenced, that actually being able to see people is what's really important for our young people, to give them that ambition. I think Peter touched on this, so I'll just cover it very quickly. But having a STEM ambassador in for a careers talk, as Peter said, we successfully did that in our school by asking someone to beam in, so to kind of what's the word, phone in on a virtual call. In fact, this week on Monday, sorry, no, last week on Thursday, we had a female STEM ambassador who had worked previously for BAE Systems on developing software that would help airplanes to be able to track submarines, and she gave up her an hour of her time to talk to a group of our female students about what career in STEM was like. She answered all of their questions, and we did that as a bit of a lunchtime drop-in, but it was really successful in raising their aspirations and helping them to understand. I mean, I don't think as a 14-year-old you'd actually even think that you might program some software that would be in an aeroplane that would be tracking submarines around the world. So it's given them that kind of that vision of what's possible, and taking them outside of what they know already. So helping to contextualise the curriculum, and obviously Peter said support for the STEM club. So the other two things I said I'd touch upon are things which your school can engage in to support you in that journey. Sometimes it's easier to achieve something if you're working towards something and you've got those mechanisms in place that you or your teachers can work with to actually kind of make some progress and visible progress. So the first one is a government-led initiative called I Belong, which is a program to support more girls into thinking of computer science as a career and to choosing it as a subject. This program involves somebody in your school, so it's by school rather than by individual teacher, involves somebody in your school enrolling in it. There is a course that everybody has to go on called Encouraging Girls, which is a very short, free, online delivered 2-hour course. And then there is a whole bunch of things that you can download for free and use in your school. So there's a booklet that gives suggestions on how you can try and plug this gender gap. There's some free posters that you can send off for that you can put around your school. And then there's lots of suggestions of activities that you can do, including working with STEM ambassadors. There are lots of I Belong events popping up. I know that my hub is going to be running an event in June, which everyone's warmly welcome to. We're going to be asking schools to bring groups of Year 8 students to the University of Hertfordshire to do some workshops, so that they're thinking about that before their options, to get a tour of the university. And it's not just my hub doing that. There are other hubs around that are doing similar things, which will kind of be on the border of Essex. So I'd really recommend diving into that, or asking your computing lead to dive into that, or STEM lead in your trust or school, to really think about working towards that I Belong mark, which then becomes a kind of benchmark or certificate for your school. As you can see here, the statistics are really poor. That only 21% of GCSE computer science entries were female, and only 15% of A-level computer science entries, and 21% of degrees. And actually what we're doing is a misservice to our girls. I know from kind of my children now are off to university. My eldest has started university in September. She shares an apartment, you know, like a student accommodation. There's like 6 bedrooms and a shared living area. In her kitchen there was some Python, which is a programming language written on, and I said, who's studying computer science? She said, oh no, that's the physicists. They have to start their degree with learning how to program. So even if you don't want computer science to be the thing that you go on to study, that fundamental understanding of programming will support a range of careers and a range of disciplines at university. So by girls not picking that, they're missing out on that opportunity. So I've talked through these things. I'm just going to move on now to talking about, where is it here? The computing quality framework. So the other thing that your school can work towards is this framework, which gives you a mark, like an arts mark or that kind of thing, the framework mark. And the thing I wanted to show you is that out of the 7 dimensions, one of those dimensions is around careers education. So this might be a really good place for your computing lead to start working, looking at this as a self-evaluation tool. And as you can see here, I wonder if this video will work. What you can see here is that it allows you to work through the different levels, and those levels have got kind of behavior indications, and as you can see, it gives you suggestions at every point for how you can improve, how to achieve the next level, what a support is out there from the STEM network, what support is out there from school to school support, what support is out there from your hub to help you to achieve that. Now, that is only in one subject, computing, but it might be really useful to reflect on with your STEM team at school, to think which of these different links will be useful for me to achieve Gatsby benchmark 4, particularly in STEM careers. So the last thing is to say that there are courses that exist on the Teach Computing website. If you go there and look at the CPD, there are some free, very short webinars that would support someone in completing their CQF. But please do reach out to me, reach out to your curriculum hub, because we are very happy to come in and work with your team. If your school doesn't offer GCSE computer science, there is a whole package of finance and support to help you get to the position where you're ready. So if that's something you don't offer and you'd like to get in contact, please do, because I'll be able to support you in delivering that also. So with that is the end. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them now. And obviously I'll share my slides in case you want them for the QR codes.
Just give a second for everyone to reach for the mouse and unmute themselves. No, I think you've covered quite a lot in that, Katie.
I know, it was a stop talk. Basically, we have got so much to offer all schools, and it's all completely for free. It's all funded by the government. So please do reach out, get people to get in contact with us. If you need support with careers, if you need support with curriculum, schemes of work, assessment, all of it, we have all of that there for you. And we'd be really pleased to work with you.
Smashing. And again, thank you very much for taking the time to come and speak to everyone today. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Anna, are you ready?
I am. That was amazing. Thank you, everyone, for bringing me through that journey. That was a delight. And I feel very privileged that I am part of this webinar. So thank you very much, guys, for having me. Okay, I need to share my screen. Let's have a look. Can I do that? Can everybody see that?
We can, yes.
Oh, Adam, should we?
Did you want me to show me the video?
Should we try and do it?
I can. I've already got it set up, raring to go, just in case there was an IT issue. So
okay, I'm going to turn my camera and phone off and microphone off, because sometimes it doesn't look as good when it comes through Teams. So I can always share the link after the film, but I think it's worth everybody seeing a little bit of it at least. So yeah. Adam, are you all right to share it? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just navigating to the window. Just bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Smashing. I'm going to hit the play button. Fingers crossed the sound will come through this time.
There's no sound, Adam.
No, there's no sound. Doesn't matter. Would I can share it with everyone afterwards. It's fine. Okay, guys, thank you. Sorry about that. It's such a shame that you can't see one of our films, because a lot of what Katie was saying about seeing, kids being shown people that look and sound like them doing jobs that they don't know exist is literally what we do with See It Be It. So it's a shame that you can't see it a film, but I will send them on to you. So let me just share my document, my slides. Okay, so I'm Anna Burrows and I run See It Be It Films Limited. So coming up on this whistle-stop tour of See It Be It, I am going to give you a bit of insight into what See It Be It is, how it became a thing, briefly mention our vision and our mission. I'm going to share with you the Green Jobs Intervention and the impact report that we did. Oh, I'm sorry. I did a Gatsby Benchmark 5 with Adam, and I copied over a little bit of the stuff that I did for Gatsby Benchmark 5 because it was the same content. I've actually left in that I was going to give you some tips on contacting employers, but I'm sorry, I'm not doing that today. But if you want some tips on contacting employers for Gatsby Benchmark 5, you can email me afterwards and I'll forward it on to you. Or Adam, perhaps you might even have the stuff from last time which you can share. And if there's anybody on here that came to GB5 that I was on, sorry if I'm repeating myself here, but hopefully by the end of this you'll feel confident to be able to deliver your own See It Be It intervention within your school. Okay, so who on earth am I? Who is this rambling woman trying to talk at me on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, I'm actually a TV producer, and I've been working in TV and film for the last 20 years. Oh God, every time I say that, I just blows my mind. Anyway, side note, also, I'm working for Netflix at the moment and I'm moonlighting. And if this presentation feels a bit scatty, it's because my episode that I was working on has literally fallen apart because of a particular contributor. So I am in the throes of trying to manage what's going on over there. Meanwhile, hopefully giving you a gift over here. So please bear with me. Okay, so just to go back on this. So I worked in TV and film for 20 years and I still do. And a few years ago, I worked and produced a film for the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, which is a charity that addresses social injustice and poverty in the UK. And they told me that if you're born into poverty, it's very unlikely that you'll ever get out of poverty. And that really stuck with me. And I looked at the barriers that exist for young people, and I looked at what it was that was stopping them from better life outcomes. And one of the things was awareness of jobs and aspiration of those jobs as well. And at the same time, because I work in branded content as well, I was hearing a lot of companies that were telling me that there is this huge and growing gap of skills and diversity in their talent pipeline, in the world of work. And I wondered what I could do to kind of bring these two problems together and create more connective tissue between employers and education. I looked at the problem, I looked at what solutions were out there at the time. This was 4 years ago, and everyone was talking about how important it is that real people get in front of young people so that they can, like I said, see people that look and sound like them doing jobs they don't know exist. And I looked at the model as it stood, which is volunteers giving up their time, and that's potentially, you know, one person in one classroom for half an hour on one day. And I wondered, how can we scale this magic? And obviously coming from a TV background, I thought, what if we crunched down what we can do in a day, put it into 2 minutes, talk to young people the way that they communicate now with short form content, but also create some plug and play resources that accompany these films, that help unpick what the films are talking about and get children to think critically about the future of work and their place in it. And so that is what we've created. See It Be It produces films and lessons designed to empower students to think critically about the fourth industrial revolution and their place in it. So how do we do that? So sorry, skimming through here, trying not to speak too fast. So all of these guys that you see on this this slide here, these are all people that we have filmed. And how we do it is we work with corporate companies. They pay us to make these films and make these lessons, and then you guys get this content for free. So the companies get these broadcast quality films that they can use for their own marketing and recruitment, and schools get to access these amazing people, these inspiring people, and they get plug and play resources to go along with them. So how to use them. So what we do is you can literally go onto our website and download them with one click. There is the PowerPoint presentations. They're delivered in really editable formats. They're dyslexia friendly. And if I just whiz through just a couple of slides. So this is what our website looks like. You can go through understanding what each of the aims and objectives are for each of our resources. You can scroll down, and then if you look here, so you literally just click on this tab, and like I've clicked on Chloe here, and it comes down, drops down, subject links are right there, science, engineering, D&T and citizenship. You've got direct links to the curriculum right there. You've got downloadable files, which everything is basically ready to go. So you could literally put anyone in front of this content and they can deliver it in a lesson. You can crunch it down to a 20-minute lesson. They're built for an hour, but you can take anything you like out of them and adapt them to a tutor time, or a 20-minute lesson, or a full hour if you want that, if you've got the luxury of that. And then if you scroll down, this is just a little bit of extra stuff. There's a lesson on the fourth industrial revolution there. It doesn't have a video, but it is it's a plug and play lesson that you can just quickly download and deliver if it's something that you want to look into. And I know we don't have any primary schools here, but if you know of any primary schools that might be interested in World of Work projects, there's some resources there for you as well. So just skimming back to the features and the benefits of using this stuff. So obviously it's Gatsby Benchmark 4, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. Also supports Gatsby Benchmarks 1 and 2 as well. Curriculum linked, like I said, they're adaptable. They're created by experienced teachers are actually creating the resources, and myself and my production team make the films. And there is actually an option to sort of supersize it up to Gatsby Benchmark 5 if you're so interested. Come and ask me about that afterwards. We're not talking about 5 today, we're concentrating on 4. All right, so just a little bit more about See It Be It. Our vision is for every child to feel open to a bright future, regardless of gender, ethnicity, neurodiversity, physical ability and socioeconomic background. So everything that we create speaks to our vision. And our mission is for every child to be able to name at least 10 jobs from the fourth industrial revolution by the time they make their GCSE choices. I'm sure you all know this, but kids can really only name 10 jobs that are entrenched in the last 100 years. So I'm going to talk to you about the green jobs intervention that we did last year. So last year when we were starting out, we got some interest from a group of companies in renewable energy, a sector of renewable energy called district heating and cooling. And what they did was they brought together a cross-industry task force, basically. And they came together and they were like, look, no one knows we exist. We're the fastest growing industry in the UK. And because we don't have, beautiful wind farms in places, and we're not making rockets, no one really knows that we exist. So we need to do some really innovative stuff to start inspiring young people to think about this as a career. Gen Z is the most purposeful generation and diverse generation that exists on the planet today. And the thing that they all care about the most is climate change. They all say it's the most important issue in the world today. And yet very few young people are connecting their passion for the planet with what they're aspiring to be when they leave school. So the DHN, the Diverse Heat Network, they came to us and we created a series of 10 films and 20 resources that are key stage differentiated. And we filmed with these guys that you can see on the slide deck here. We then distributed these films. We call it an intervention when we use them. We distributed them into 5 schools across the country, 2 in the north, 2 in the south, and a London-based one as well. And they were comprehensives at secondary schools. We had 1 SEMH school as well that took part. And what we did was we ran it across a term. So each week, the films and the lessons were delivered across a period of time. They're stackable. So 1 film and lesson is connected to the next film and lesson in some small way. So you can kind of take the kids on a journey through what it is that they're watching. And this was the result of that report that we did. So we measured the intervention. We gave them surveys before they started, and then we did surveys and interviews once they'd had the intervention. So 60% of young people who initially didn't even know what a green job was had this knowledge after the intervention. 81% of the students reported the films gave them a better understanding of what jobs were available and the routes into them. And 54% of youth listed new jobs they thought they'd be good at following the intervention. So that's where we're up to. Before I go on, are there any questions? Have I missed anything out in my whistle-stop tour? No, deathly silent. Is everyone still awake?
Well, I'm still here, so.
Okay, great. Okay, you want the free resources? You can go onto my website, which I'll share the link for. This QR code, if you zap it with your phone, that connects with me on LinkedIn. And you're welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn. I've got a whole plethora of employers on my LinkedIn network. So if you're ever looking for people to come to your school, then by all means, you know, share with me and I can share with my groups. Looks amazing. Thank you, C-Pipe. I appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to stop presenting now.
Actually, thank you for that, Anna. As I say, it's the second time I've seen that particular presentation, and it always amazes me at some of the stuff that you come out with. Before we move on, last chance for any questions to any of our presenters from any of the attendees. If not, we shall move on. The only sort of thing that I have to add for Benchmark 4, it's a plug from the Careers Hub itself, is we do have a CPD session that we can run for teaching staff as well, if that's something that you are interested in. So it's about an hour session, and we'll come in and run that particular session for you. But other than that, if no one's got any questions, I shall end the webinar here and give you 10 minutes back of your evening. Other than that, again, thanks to our presenters for taking the time out to come and speak to you today. And I'll make sure that all of the resources that have been sent in the chat are sent out. And hopefully, I don't know when the video will go up, but it will eventually go up onto the Careers Hub YouTube channel as well. Smashing.